Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday to you today. Welcome to, can you believe it? I can't believe it. The other person on this show, who you know, can't believe it either. Welcome to episode number 100. 100. Hello, Colleen Schaefer.
Congratulations, Don
Cheers
Cramer.
to you. So,
Cheers.
coffee with Kramer might be a little champagne cocktail with Kramer today and Colleen.
It is. It's 100.
Exactly. We're celebrating. Cheers to everyone who's turned in. Little cheers out there to everyone.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So I see you're
It's
having a
5
little
o'clock.
rosé.
Yes, I'm thinking it's lunchtime somewhere.
It is lunchtime somewhere. Yeah, normally Friday's the proper lunch club day, so we're kind of starting. We're either carrying on the traditions or starting the week early,
Both. Yeah.
or a little bit of both.
It's a celebratory thing, though. 100 is a lot. I commend you for your tenacity, for your ability to every single day do this. It's interesting. It's fun, and it's. I mean, that's a number. That's a whole another drink.
Well, let's kind of, exactly. Let's kind of thank you, and let's kind of reflect on it. I remember, we started this show right in the depths of COVID. It was like the fourth week of March. And it's like,
Yeah.
what do we do? And I said, okay, we'll get on Zoom, grab a cup of coffee on a Monday, and we're just going to go say hi.
Right.
And 100 episodes later, special guests talking about all kinds of news and information. Here it is, the end of September, the same year, and look how this has evolved.
The funny thing is, it has been, how can I say this? I'm surprised at how far into the year we have gone because you lose track of time,
Yes,
but it feels like longer than a year, if that makes any sense. It's kind of one of those where you go, wow, it's been that long. Oh my gosh, it's been that long.
exactly,
So
exactly. So
it could have been 3 years for all I know.
So let's kind of reflect back. I remember it's like, okay, we're going to do Zoom, we're going to do Facebook. We had some glitches here and there, stuff like that. What was your thoughts on episode one? Do you recall any of those?
Oh my goodness, do I remember the nervousness, number one, the content, number two, the trying to, because you didn't have your setup like this. I mean, you've evolved through. Did we have this set up the first one?
No, no, no,
You
no.
had
It
your-
was from my office.
Oh,
Didn't even
this
have,
was from the other
working
one.
through the laptop camera, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so I remember thinking, to be very truthful, this is never gonna fly.
Then we started
And then
interviewing
it
some
became,
people.
yeah, that was what became very fun. That was something that I like and I still like doing. So very much so. Go ahead. You're the one that, I mean, seriously, I commend you for all of it because you are the one that steamrolls this whole thing. I'm just on the coattails of it.
Well, I'll tell you what. One thing I am excited for is the next 100.
Yeah. Yeah. And better and better. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Do you remember how you felt on the first one?
It was one of those. It was one of those. I like in a lot of things, the different things. It's like, okay, we received a major setback with what was going on, the shutdown, things of that nature. And we just wanted to kind of have a forum and a situation where we could check in and say hi, also feature some small businesses and see what they were going through, and really kind of understand, and kind of connect in with the community in this more digital age. I mean, what we're doing now, it's amazing how many people have adopted this throughout the country, and I commend them because, this is the way that we're communicating with people nowadays.
It's the only way we really have that you
Mm-hmm.
can do on a consistent basis and for any length of time. So yeah, I'm becoming more comfortable with it. I think as most people are, I'm watching people, my grandkids are being schooled at home
Yep.
and they're now comfortable with dancing in front of the iPad with the class,
Yep.
and doing their homework via video. My grandson did a video of his project and had to actually explain it. He's in second grade
Yep.
and he had to make his project, explain it, and do a video for the class to show what it was interactively with his sister. So and I thought, wow, this isn't going to be strange to anyone in a couple of years.
Exactly, exactly. What we were embarking upon back in March, it's kind of the normal flow of things right now. And we've had some
Yeah.
people liking and tuning in, so thank you all for tuning in. You know, also too, just a couple of shout outs. I want to shout out to a couple of people that have been some great supporters. Um, one good friend and colleague, John Curtis. John was on the other day, and we caught up for lunch. And one of the staff at one of the restaurants, I walk in, and he goes, "Hey, coffee with Cramer. How you doing?"
Yo, yo.
I've got him up to 3 fans now.
I love it. I love it. Well, see, that's how people start being recognized.
Exactly. Yeah, we got to start. I'm up to 3. I mean, it'll snowball from there.
Well, and the beauty of that though is, I believe what you told me when you went in was coffee with Kramer, and they do relate it to what we do, but they also relate it to informational entertainment.
Exactly.
They're watching.
Absolutely, and also a good friend. Last week Matt Henderson. Had him on a couple of times talking about golf, and I know
Yeah.
we've got many other great guests. Ashley Remington, who's been on a couple of times. Michelle Morgan from D&K Mortgage. Melissa Despy, who, if it wasn't for her, the name of Coffee with Kramer wouldn't have been. So, just a big shout out to those who have supported us and those who have tuned in and commented. We just appreciate you very much. And we want to make this show about you and providing you the news, information, and just kind of fun things going on here in Vegas all the time.
Very much so. Very much so. And again, we do kind of try to figure out other entertaining things to talk about. We're real estate people, so we come up with a lot of ideas and thoughts about real estate. But I say to you, their diverse group of people and friends you bring on are quite interesting to just sit and talk to and find out about their world.
We have an interesting cast of characters, don't we?
Yes, yes, yes. But I like it.
But you know what? And we're gonna make some changes. You and I have been chatting about that. We're kind of reviewing some of how we do the show, some of the formatting, and how we distribute it out, because we do this live on Facebook, and we take some time, and then we also pump this out to YouTube and a couple other segments. So we're going to be making some changes like we did those first days, just on our laptops before the camera setups and things of that nature. And it's just going to be a continued evolution, and that's everyone's going to be seeing that over the next 100 episodes.
The next 100 episodes, and then after that, we'll just have to think about it.
After that, we'll have to take a break. No,
well, it'd be fun to be able to do this when we can, like at an open house.
Yeah.
Or at one of our friends' restaurants or businesses, or you know what I mean? I have friends that have opened up design studio type things that would be so much fun to be able to go there.
Some remotes on site. Exactly. Love to.
And visuals. I mean, it would be so much fun to be able to do that. So it's going to happen. It'll just evolve into some more, I think, more interesting, even more interesting as we go along.
We'll be coming in with more interesting content, more interesting people,
right.
The beautiful locations of fabulous Las Vegas.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous. We just need to figure out an accent.
Hi, I'm Don Cramer.
No, I like you better when you're Don.
Perfect. So, well, anyway, we want to thank everyone. Thanks, Colleen, being my great partner, colleague, friend, confidant, getting through 100. It's who'd have thunk it? And like you said, it occurred faster than I would have thought. And so just excited for the next set, and excited for you and I to continue to touch base with people and kind of do what we do best, which is provide the information and market knowledge and the trends and spot those tea leaves out there so we can get that out to our clients, friends, family, and those tuning in.
I would like to ask for the people that are tuning in, or for even for future, it doesn't have to be today, any type of topic or subject or question, or it would be fun for us to have to do some research on something somebody wanted to know about. Because we'll find people.
Absolutely.
We'll find people to talk about it. We'll find all sorts of things. So if there's questions, send them.
Exactly. If you've got a question, you've got a topic, that'd be great. Hey,
Or
got a
somebody
little.
that would like to interview. We'd love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And actually, speaking, our broker Dave Tina Senior gave
Good
us a little
morning.
comment on there, so we hit a little like and love. Thank you, Dave, for providing us such a great brokerage in order to be able to help people with real estate. So our team goes beyond just you and I. It goes beyond. It goes into our broader brokerage that we're proud to call home at Urban Nest Realty.
I have to say, one of the best. Dave, Jennifer, Georgia, and all of the staff. I mean, it
Yeah,
just
Danny, Bernadette, and if I didn't name everyone, please.
definitely. There's people behind the scenes that just I love where we work.
Yeah,
Absolutely commend all of any kind of help, any kind of anything you need, it's there. So support. So anyway,
exactly.
but whole nother topic.
Yep. So, nonetheless, Monday, it's a news day. So, we've got a couple of little news points here. You and I have kind of chatted a little bit about it. Kind of a new, interesting trend in real estate that we've been seeing a little bit, but I think it's kind of carrying on. It's kind of interesting with this COVID situation still going on, the economy the way it is. Secondly, major league sale here in Summerlin recently closing, and then just kind of catching up on some mortgage rates.
Yeah. It'll be interesting because we had some discussions
Yeah,
on all three of those topics. The mortgage rates we can just get out of the way in the beginning, I think, because the mortgage rates themselves fluctuate, but not a lot right now.
yeah. Let's dive into that. So this is the current, like you said, the current here from, and we're going to just throw the screen share up from bankrate.com, and the mortgage rate for this week actually moved up a tick. And if we kind of go down here onto the share, um, the jumbo 30-year fixed went up 8 basis points to 3.09. The 15-year fixed actually went down 7 basis points to 2.48. The 30-year fixed jumbo went up 8 basis points to 3.12. And the 30-year refi went up 10 basis points to 3.07. So, Colleen, what's your thoughts as to the rates this past week?
Well, here's again, I just go back to when we are lucky enough to be looking at an eighth or a quarter of a point raise and go, oh my gosh, it went up. There is a value to money right now, borrowing money, not the money. Obviously, investing, you don't get a lot of money in the banks right now, et cetera, because of this interest rate, because of this whole trend. But at the same time, okay, let me start this. 3 weeks ago, my daughter was talking about possibly refinancing.
Right.
Well, you missed the little window, but don't kick yourself so hard you don't do something now, because you're still in a position to be able to afford what up to 50% to 100% more than you could have afforded when interest rates go up for 2 points or
Yeah,
3 points.
absolutely.
When you've got a 3%, it goes up to 6, which is a normal low rate. 8 is an average. You're still in a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
So that little fluctuation isn't something that, especially for purchasing. For refi, you kind of want to watch it and make sure there's enough money in it.
Yeah, you because it's about savings. It's about opening cash flow up.
Yes. But for purchase right now, that's what I'm saying. It was like you hesitated on refi. If you look at a purchase, you still can buy so much more house than you could if it goes up 1 to 2 to 3 points. And that's still a low interest rate.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And kind of a good rule of thumb, Colleen, is if your interest rate is between 3/4 of a point and a point less, you should be considering a refi.
Yeah, it is. And I like to stick with a point only because the amount of money you save, not to get too involved, but you really want to take the amount of money it's costing you and the amount of money that you save and see how many years it's going to take you to make that money back before you're really saving. Okay.
Right.
And that depends on how long you plan on staying in the house. So there's a whole formula. But if you're planning on staying in a house 5 to 10 years and it's only going to take you 2 years to pay yourself back, okay, if you stay 5 years, you've saved 3 years of whatever it is. And it should really be $100 a month or more. That's my
Absolutely, absolutely. But when I'm looking at these rates here on the screen at bank rate, even though they went up 8 basis points on the 30-year fixed, that is still $426.47 per month in principal and interest for every 100,000 you borrowed, which is $4.33 higher than the previous week. So it's still pretty, the change is pretty negligible over.
That's exactly. Do that math and go, okay, if you're buying a $300,000 house, how much did it go up in the last week? $12?
I think that's three
$13?
frappuccinos using the new math
I think it's a one day at Starbucks if you bring a friend. You know what I mean?
with a pastry.
Yeah. So the idea is it isn't earth shattering as far as that goes. So it's still a great time to move and buy. And that goes into the sale of houses and the way things are working. As we were talking earlier, the three topics, we talked about why is it that people are able to do what they're doing? Why is the market the way it is?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we're still all trying to understand it. I mean, and it's not just us, it's accomplished real estate agents that have been around for a while, economists, all types of people and what's going on. And it seems, it seems to be kind of a hodgepodge of different situations coming into Las Vegas. Situation one, we do know the low interest rates are a big factor.
Yeah.
Number two, people that were into homes prior to the pandemic had very strong equity positions. Some of them, especially the ones that bought in 10, 11, 12, and then could sell now. I mean, we're looking in some cases doubling, tripling equity positions to where they could put a lot of cash down and combine that with low interest rates. And as you were talking about earlier, what was once their ability at a near 5% interest rate to afford a payment in a situation on a $600,000 home, lowering that interest rate a couple of points, and now coupling it with 300,000-400,000 in equity they might have bought when they bought it in say 10, 11, 12. Now they're upgrading to $1 million property.
Exactly.
With
And
a
can.
similar payment.
Yeah. I mean, it's well, we can use my daughter's whole deal when we bought her the house in 2016 now, and this isn't that long ago. That's the interesting part. If you bought in 10, 11, 12, and 11 was really your best year to buy anything for equity. But I visited with a friend yesterday just talking about houses. They're thinking about moving to Utah. So there's two people I can go. Well, actually, there's three. I did a listing yesterday. But point being, all of these people bought within the last 5 years. Okay. And all of these people are at a point where their equity build is one that they can sell the home, have enough of a down payment to go into another home, and their payment might go up by $50. Okay, so you've moved up to a place that now you can stay even longer. Your payment hasn't changed enough to make a huge difference in anybody's life. So that's again why the interest rates. I know prices have gone up on homes, but when you can get into a home, more home right now than I think you're going to be able to in future years for the same amount of money.
Absolutely, no question about it. And the other thing too is we talked about the equity positions. We talked about the low interest rates. We also talked about too the migration from out of state. And Redfin was reporting that 46% of people searching for Las Vegas were from out of state. And
Correct.
One of our biggest feeder markets is California. And as there's a lot of talk about Californians leaving, so on and so forth. They just hit their absolute highest median price statewide at $700,000.
That's the median price.
It's the median.
Meaning it's what, 1,300, 1,400 square feet? Do you even know?
Unfortunately, I don't have a sense
Yeah,
of what
I'd love
that
to. I'll
gets you.
find
But
out.
we're gonna put up an episode
Find
of what the median home price gets you in various markets.
Yeah, be interesting. I think that'll be.
And then the equivalents. I think that's a great upcoming episode. But that being said, If the neighboring state of a population of 37 plus million people,
Their own country.
their own country, fifth largest economy in the world,
Hmm.
has a median home price of 700,000, and we have one of 335, who looks kind of attractive,
It's double.
more than double.
Yeah. So I mean, you go, okay, you can get double the home here for the same amount.
Yeah, and now,
And no traffic. No traffic.
oh yeah, exactly, convenience. And we were just having, like I said, we were having lunch the other day. Met with an attorney out of Newport. Loves the Newport lifestyle, but he is moving the practice up here because he loves the convenience. He loves the amenity-rich situations. And you know what? They get the situation of what we're doing with the lockdowns and COVIDs and restrictions, but that will pass in due time.
Yeah.
And the conventions will ramp back up. The airport will ramp back up. Traffic will come in. But at the same time, we were talking about restaurants. We were talking about shows. Yes, the shows have shuttered for now, but they will come back in because events and entertainment is a core component of Las Vegas. Couple of that with a more friendly business posture, more friendly tax basis. It's a compelling idea.
Again, this too shall pass. This
Exactly.
will change. We just need to get in front of it instead of behind it, and that will happen.
Yes.
And again, I see so many TV shows still where people are like, Vegas? I hear people on the phone, or you talk to new people. We're just in Jackson. We were just in Jackson Hole, Jackson, Wyoming.
Right.
And we would go in because it's a perfect time for outdoor eating, outdoor anything. We hiked, we walked, but anytime we wanted to go have something to eat, there's always an outdoor scenario. Where are you from? Oh, we're from Vegas. You're from Vegas? Woohoo! I'd love to. It's still a place people go, wow, you really live there. I'd love to be there. So it's still a place where people want to be.
Did they ask you like they used to ask us, well, where do you live? And did you reply, well, we live on the 14th floor of the Wynn?
Yeah, it's so much fun to go. Well, behind the casinos and the parking lots, you go down an elevator, and we're just all underground.
There's we go down 40 floors. It's this wacky world.
Pipe in fake sunshine, that kind of stuff. No, the people do go, oh, really? You live there? It's like, how? But the biggest question I get is, how far away from the strip are you?
Right.
Which is normal, but
And
you don't have to be that far away. Well, right now we are about 15 minutes away from the strip.
Okay.
Which is, again, what I say, the airport, the strip, you're 15 minutes, 20 minutes on a bad day. They're there.
Yeah. And we're 20 minutes, 25 minutes from the airport on a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple points away to get there. Let's say you're in Pasadena and you needed to go to Inglewood to go watch the Rams play.
Think about it. Don't even think about it. My sister-in-law and my mother-in-law live there, and they live maybe 5 miles away from each other, and it takes her 40 minutes.
5 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Yep.
She's like, on a good day, it's 30, but for the most part, of course, now with COVID, traffic is a little lighter, which, by the way, just on a side note, this weekend, the traffic here had backed back up again.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it was amazing to me how much more bustle there is out there.
Absolutely.
So people are out. Saw a lot of masks, which made me feel good, but people are out. People are out.
No, people are out and about. We're seeing restaurants and shopping areas, parking, parking's returning back to normal busy situations. So those are positive signs. It sounds like we're going to be getting some new news here from the governor here about some changes to gatherings and things of that nature.
Yeah. Good.
And that's coming.
We'll see where we are. I'm hoping it's good stuff. So
moving on, then you and I took a look and we saw this new apartment community coming online.
It made me scratch my head for a second. I was really shocked.
So let's we'll pull that up here. And so this is a new community called Tuscan Highlands near the M Resort. And it's under development. And it's part of a new, apparently this is kind of becoming a bigger trend. The developer, a person by the name of Bob Schulman, built a community over in near 215 and Sunset called South Beach, which had a lot of amenities, volleyball, fitness center, things of that nature. Well, he sold it. He sold it for a mint back in 18. Now he started this new project, Tuscan Highlands, which is at the south end of the strip near the M Resort, and it boasts a wide variety of features, including a restaurant, wine garden, esports lounge, sports court, rock climbing tower, gym, spa, studio, I guess soundproof studio for everyone to start their own podcast, temperature controlled lockers for grocery delivery, and also fitness and wellness concierge, in addition to the rents, which range between the $1,275 to $3,800 a month situation, $125 per person monthly resort fee.
Resort fee.
Resort fee.
It's kind of like an HOA, only different.
Yeah, for a rental.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You have your HOA for the rentals. And what again were those rents?
$1,275 to $3,800.
See? Okay. So $1,275 plus 175?
125.
125. So you've got $1,275 through $1,400 is where they start.
And that resort fee goes to offset some of the gatherings they have for food, drinks, and parties. And this food, drink, and party situation is becoming a much more common. It's not just the Tuscan Highlands. We've seen it at places like Elysian. We've got a good friend. She's renting over there. She loves the amenities, things of that nature, to where some people are paying these premiums on these sort of self-contained light living situations.
Yeah, and it does remind me of pre-2008 because I worked at Manhattan condos on the end of the strip up by the M. Actually, there wasn't much between. And Manhattan condos, that was the concept. Being in Manhattan, you had everything around you. You had a dry cleaner, you had the concierge, you had volleyball games. They did barbecues, beers. You paid for it. They didn't have it was all in the HOA dues is the point. However, at that point, so it's interesting to see it evolving back into, it means we're kind of getting back into that whole feel of people want that community, all inclusive. I come home and really you've thought it out and I have all my recreation that I need is right here.
Do you think it's good timing with COVID?
The hard part is it probably is not a great time, but you can also turn it into a good time because you are limiting yourself to the amount of people you're around. If they do it correctly in social distance and people do the masks, etc., you can still have an outdoors kind of thing. But I think what it's going to do is it's going to set people up for, and we want it so much more, social. We're missing our friends. We're missing our social gatherings. So there's a hope for and a light at the end of the tunnel. It's already baked in. So I think that it'll just ramp up as we get COVID under control, opinion mine.
Well, and that's a good point because, too, if you look at it and say, okay, well, you've got that. We've been seeing people, demand over in places like where you're at, Anthem Country Club, Red Rock, people moving in, people rehabbing, what are now 20-year-old home, almost near 20-year-old homes, bringing them up to standard because of the community lifestyle amenities. And then you have, Colleen, can get you a little more centered in the screen. There you go.
I have it on Facebook. I can't.
But then also, too, the rise of the communities like Reverence in Summerlin, Mesa Ridge, where, you have the chef prep catering area there. You've got the core delivery areas. You've got the games. You've got these things without having to leave your neighborhood.
Yeah. And that does help. I mean, I can vouch for anything you can do that feels and really relatively is safer um, you're going to use it. You're going to do it. Like I said, I think we all are social beings to begin with. Most people are social beings. So it does help when it's built into the community and you can kind of feel it.
Yeah, no, and that's a great point. And in looking at this, the community, which started back in early 2019, has approximately it has 304 units and 78 of them, so 25% of the inventory has already been rented out.
Wow. Wow. That's there's a demand there. So
Yep,
that kind of we don't have to ask any questions or explain it. There it is.
exactly. And apparently, their demographics is to a more affluent
Mhm.
demographic, especially with that price point. 100,000 a year income bracket. So they're probably not the group that's they're probably the remote employees, the people that have business interests in Las Vegas and out of state coming in and out, and are able to afford this and be able to live that lifestyle without a lot of the heaviness of having a club membership, having all these types of different things.
There was a lot of that when the district came into play because all of the condos on top of the district, that was part of the beauty of it is you could walk down to all of the things that you wanted to experience. And they had a lot. They had a library. They had a concierge. They had a grocery delivery. I mean, they had all of it.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
it's that same kind of a where we're leaning to,
Yeah.
and for the same type of kind of clientele
Yes. No.
on
No
the
question about it.
purchase.
No question. And so, speaking of, I guess the affluent, that brings us
Yeah,
to the last one here, which is the Summerlin home, just recently closed, making it the second highest sale of the year in Las Vegas. This Summerlin home at 10.15 million, listed through the listing agent was Simply Vegas. Gavin Ernstone recently sold uh, this property.
that was
And
interesting. First of all, look at the number. Let me interject. Look at the number. It's the second highest, correct?
yes, the
And
highest
it,
was 11.25 million at McDonald Highlands.
so I'm going to, first of all, second of all, we'll look at that house. But firstly, think about the prices in Chicago, in New York, in Washington, in California, and what would their highest prices be and how many of them would they have? So the point is the affordability here is still crazy
Right.
because that's a 14,000 plus square foot house
Yep.
with 360-degree views from every location of everything here. And I believe, Don, it said it came with Peter Lick artwork and some restoration hardware furniture. And I mean, there's, and a $5 million reno.
Yeah. The history of the property was it was sold from it was bank owned back in 12, sold for somewhere around 5 million, and then a $5 million reno. It was a pretty significant renovation inside. I mean, we're talking it was a much more heavier Tuscan traditional feel vibe inside, where now if we'll go through some slides, much more modern appeal to it.
Yeah, yeah. And so if you look at for 14,000 plus square feet, I always say only 10 million and change isn't compared, and the views and the location. I mean, there's so much more to it that Vegas, again, you can have an amazing home here for a lot less than anywhere else. And we're still convenient to everything, and we've got great weather.
Yeah, no
So let's
question
look at it.
no question about it. So I'm going through some slides here.
That's why I'm looking down. I'm looking at them on my phone.
Yep. And you've got this outdoor pool and spa, which looks both north to the mountains along Red Rock Country Club and such on the west side,
Look at how
and then
pretty that is.
back east towards the city, and then these Looks like they have travertine flooring, and they've put in wood trim around all the entryways. Lots of
There,
high grade finishes.
there is that part of that article states that they had to helicopter in to the master bath, the bathtub. They had a soaking tub brought in, and it had to be brought in by a helicopter just to get it up to the bedroom and into. So think about what does
Well,
that mean?
there's the outdoor soaking tub right there,
There it is. Oh
and
no.
you can soak in your tub and overlook the city. So if that's a desire,
Look at that.
yeah, that might be the one and only. And then, out west, it's kind of built into the hillside there. You can see how a lot of the house is designed to appear back towards the city. It's an amazing view.
It is an amazing location and house. So they again, and that's the second highest priced home.
Yep, second highest priced home, and like you said, 14,000 square feet. And so it's 14,918 square feet. So if we take
15.
the 10-1, where were we at? We were at 10,150, and divided by 10,150,000 divided by 14,918. That's $680 a square foot. Now, that in terms of a lot of things, that may sound expensive, but in reality, when you look at, let's say, like the Summit, they're coming in at $700 to $1,000 a square foot.
Yeah.
Los Angeles, West LA, things of that nature, you're anywhere probably north of $1,000 a square foot.
Mm-hmm.
In some areas, $2,000 a square foot.
Mm-hmm.
$680 for this size of house, these types of finishes, not far off.
No.
Not at all.
No, and there are new ones being built. Everything that's going up on the mountains out here in Henderson are going to be way more than that, just because of the cost at this point to build them has gone up.
Yep.
So I think the point I looked at that, and what got me was anybody that wants to do resale right now that would like to come in and purchase from those areas that we've spoken of, that they're crazy expensive to live on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
We have so much value here and so much available at a price that couldn't happen. Interest rates being what they are, it shocks me to the degree that we have COVID and houses are still escalating in price, and we have so many sales. But then when you really look at where we are compared to the rest of the country, majority of the country, not everywhere, it's not a surprise because it's affordable.
Right. Yeah, and it's a different market. A lot of people have different contexts of what our market is. I mean, it's just, again, with friends and such, and you talk about, well, how many homes that are $1 million plus available for sale and under contract. And for our city and population, we don't have that many.
Right. Agreed.
Especially when you compare to Phoenix, Scottsdale, where you've got most of Scottsdale up to North Scottsdale, Cave Creek, and all that, and then down in the core, Paradise Valley, things of that nature. Granted, yes, you have 3x the population, but the amount of $1 million plus two, you could probably find several $8, $9, $10 million homes there, whereas here we're talking handfuls.
And it'll grow that way. That's the kind of, because I, born and raised in Phoenix, watched how it worked.
Yep.
And we are in that same growth pattern. It's just we're behind it. So I look at Phoenix and I go, okay, I can pretty much see the roadmap to what will happen here because I'm watching them build up on all of the mountains and all the view lots. And I know we watched that in Scottsdale and on Camelback Mountain. And then you would go out to Cave Creek, Carefree area, and the boulders, and places that I never thought houses would be on the mountains up by me right now.
Yep.
And I just kind of go, whoa. And they're big.
They are big.
So, I mean, and it's happening. So, again, timing is everything. We have an interest rate that's fabulous and prices for what you will not be able to buy later because they'll be too far out there are good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I can see a trend where you have a segment of, let's say, like the LA population, San Francisco population, looking at Vegas, going, okay, we can downsize our footprint. Maybe we had, you know, 3, 4, 5, $10 million property there. That crazy enough, isn't that grand that you could sell, move into something more modest, and then build your larger footprint here much more reasonably, and then start taking advantage of the amenities, the tax base, the situation you have to offer, while still having convenient commutes back to maybe where your job still is.
Mhm. Exactly. And even just getting in the game, as we like to call it. My husband and I always said to the kids, just get in the game.
Yep.
It's easier to jump in here than it is future. If you don't get in soon enough, you may not get in. And that's just owning a home. So like yesterday for the friends of mine that are wanting to, they want to move to Utah. They like the farm area. His family's from there. The home
Sure.
that they purchased, okay, again, it's 1,500 square feet. It's on a third of an acre. That's a huge lot.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
It's in a subdivision where they're all big lots. Now,
Mm-hmm.
it was built 89, but when they went into it, they said we got into it at a low enough interest rate and a low enough price, relatively speaking to everything, that they blew out the kitchen, did some of the work themselves. I'll give you that. He's in construction. But now they've doubled what they paid for it.
Yep.
So in the next 6 to 8 months, they will be able to take what they sell this house for and practically pay off what they're trying to buy up in Utah. So they got in the game, is my point. So
Yes.
we were talking about $1 million houses, etc. You and I both know we will work with beginners, middle, or people that have been in the game for a long time because both of us have done enough to understand what's your end game, and let's help you get there.
Well, exactly. And we have to understand the product and inventory across the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of those entry level homes, they may be parts of groups or companies we work with that have people that need the guidance and information, and or two, also investors looking to buy some investment properties as they move some of their portfolio around, all the way up to, okay, hey, we've got the growing family, now we need something bigger, because bigger is better right now because we need the space. And also too, the ones that are looking to downsize, it's like, okay, let's cash out some equity. We don't need all this footprint. We could save on our electrical bills, our landscape bills, things of that nature, and buy a more manageable size property, and maybe free up some of that cash to for traveling, things of that nature. So, that's the beauty. That's the big joy about real estate, is helping people through lifestyle decisions you and I are continuing to make every day as well.
Yeah, yes, and I will say that some of the fun has been those investors
Yep.
and 1031 exchange people, and I say that because there's a few of them that have their own model, which is quite interesting because when they bring in their model, that opens doors for us that we hadn't thought about,
Mm-hmm.
correct? And then it's like, what? Okay, let's piece this puzzle together and find out how your model and what we have will get you to what you're trying to achieve.
Yep.
And that's the fun. I think it's always been the fun part about real estate is that's the learning, but the knowledge is already there. So now we just have to put together all the things that we know or can find out to make it happen for the people the way they want it to happen. Don't care what
Absolutely.
it is.
Absolutely.
So I love it.
Fantastic. Well, Colleen, actually, we've got to get prepped for a meeting.
We do. We do. We
We
do.
do. But so anyway, very interesting stuff. The rates are up a little bit, but not by much. But let's keep an eye on it. The interesting trend in the new luxury condo segment. And congrats on that big sale there. It's that house I know was sitting out there for quite a while. So hopefully the new owners will get to enjoy all 14,000 plus square feet of it. And
Almost 50.
thank you to you, and to you, my partner, on making through episode number 100.
If it weren't for COVID, you'd have had balloons and a cake and, or pancakes with candles. I don't know which one, but.
That's okay. Maybe we'll push that to episode 1,000.
I don't even know if I'll be alive by then, but
We'll
okay.
keep
Maybe
cranking
we
them
go to
out.
150.
So, alrighty. Well, everyone, on behalf of the Cramer Group, I'm Don Cramer.
I'm Colleen Schaefer.
Where we appreciate you tuning in to episode 100 of Coffee with Cramer and Colleen. If you have any questions about real estate, lifestyle, or just living in Las Vegas, do us a big favor, reach out. We'd love to answer those questions for you because more now than ever, your real estate experience matters. So thanks for tuning in. We'll catch up with you here for episode 101 here in the near future.
Bye bye.